1 second, please. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So today we're going to be continuing our series on the importance of volume. So we've covered some cool ground this week. We're going to talk about one more concept that I think you guys are going to like here tonight. As we head into tomorrow, and go from there. Before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, first things first, we're going to take a look and see where we left off at the market here today. Then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. And then we're going to go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, guys. So SPX up 74 points today. Big push here, monthly chart green, right? Eating away at this bearish engulfing candle from last month. Weekly chart, we need to see how we close tomorrow. If we stay bullish, right? We closed over last week's high, and then we just kind of take all these guys out right here and kind of get into that monthly engulfing candle. Daily chart, big move today, right? So pretty cool stuff. I mean, I guess you kind of say it's kind of harmonic-ish, but we did get a push up here. We broke out over the macro downward trend line, giving us a fresh trend box to keep an eye on here as we see if the market is ready to start with at least a mini upward trend before we get to all-time highs. But right at the 50-day moving average, but a nice piercing of the cloud too. So which is pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at the wave count here. So pretty wild move, right? We've been talking about, is it bearish, is it bullish, is it wave 4, is it wave 2? We just went ahead with the 1-2-1-2 today. So we had this 1-2 move right here. Wave 1, A, B, C down, wave 2 for about the 786 retrace, and then boom, right? Nice gap here to start the wave 3. So I would imagine that we get a little bit of a pullback, at least a subwave pullback to get into potentially like a larger, wave 5 of 3. So we'll see how that goes here going into tomorrow and see if we get a little bit of a retrace going into then. But we'll see. The market's generally been pretty bullish right here, and this wave looks pretty strong here so far. So let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. What we're setting up going into tomorrow. So let's take a look here. So S&P futures up $7. So again, the wave continues, and really it was kind of funny. The other day we were looking in here. It's like, hey, is this kind of like a bearish wing potentially setting up on a harmonic? And they're like, well, there is actually a bullish wing right here. You can kind of see the butterfly in here, and wow, it really started to work its way up nicely here. So we got through our VPOCs right here, and we're already dealing with some September ranges. So we just kind of need to see how that goes going into tomorrow. Again, this was a couple key areas here today where we could have found resistance, right? So right here, we could have, we could have worked our way down off of this here. But once we gapped intraday, and guys, I have never seen a gap this big on the S&P futures. I've seen like a tick, where and then it just kind of comes back and fills it. It's like it was a mistake or something like that. But when we gapped like this, I was like, guys, let's get calls, right? Because, I mean, that's about as strong as you could get right there. This huge gap up right there, big volume, and we pushed above the levels and just continue to grind up for the rest of the day. So, again, amazing stuff. Couple geometric lines here to look going into tomorrow. So we've got this going on right here. Keep an eye on that one. That's been the big one, guys. I mean, it was an amazing, amazing move from overnight, just nonstop. And you can put a little bit of a bump line off of this here going into the next levels there and see how that holds for this evening. So, but other than that, guys, generally just generally bullish, right? So we just want to kind of keep an eye on that and see where we go from there. So good stuff, guys. So again, this week we've been talking about the importance of volume. I kind of want to wrap it up with a cool concept here, and that I think you guys will like. Right? It helps us kind of stay in trend, and I really like it. It's kind of like a line in the sand type move, but I think you guys will like it. So anyway, so let's get started on that. So basically, what we do is when we're trading, right? And one of the tools that we like to use is the 8 EMA, right? You guys hear me say, "Oh, it was over the 8 EMA." A lot of people think that I'm saying like 80, like 80 moving average. No, I'm talking about the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exponential moving average, right? So the 8 moving average exponential here on TOS. Right, so one of the things that I like to look for is if we're in a trend, and we talked about this yesterday, we kind of go over it yesterday, is if we can hold the 80 EMA on the 15-minute chart, generally we could push below it, but the only thing that I like to see is if I'm, getting a little bit scared or whatever the case is wait for like increasing volume under the ADMA to look for an exit, right? And so today, right, we had this gap up move right here. We had some sideways action, right? You can see some red candles right here, but were we anywhere close to the ADMA? No. Right? It wasn't until here, you got this big red candle right here. Did we close below the ADMA? No. So you can still continue to ride this wave up. Then you get this candle right here. Did we close below the ADMA? Yes. And the question is, do we have increasing volume? Yes. I would look to take profit here. I would look to exit the trade right here. But that's pretty good if you entered off of this gap move right here. So that's 44.05, right, for a close at 44.25 for a 20-point move on the S&P futures, right? So a really, really nice move there. And again, maybe you miss out on a little bit of this. Maybe you can get in this a little bit later into the end of the day. But of course, this is the last 15-minute candle for kind of a goofy move, right, into the end of the day. And then we have the after-hours stuff, right? So pretty cool stuff there. That being said, that's what I think is just a great tool to use, right? So if that's kind of a line in the sand, you can use the smaller moving averages. You could use the 5-minute, but sometimes it'll get you out a little bit early, right? But it depends on the trend and how it goes, right? So we talked about this last night. I said I was going to mention it here today, and so just kind of got into it again here. So yesterday was a pretty interesting day. Right, so one of the cool moves, right? We had a big sharp move down at the open, then it was fadeable, and then we got consolidated right here. We talked about this bull flag, right? So we had a really, really nice move here on the bull flag, and then a good push to the upside, right? And we didn't, this was generally a nice hold. If you go to the 5-minute chart right here and you pull up the exponential moving average, give me 1 second. Exponential moving average, and pull up the 8 here. Right, you can see, right, this is kind of an interesting move, right? So we got this this really, really great push right here off of the, especially for refined moves between levels. You get your bull flag breakout right here. We have a nice ride to the upside right here. You have a big red candle right here, right? But no go, right? And of course, this is in the minutes, right? So you don't want to necessarily trade in minutes. But it wasn't until this candle right here where we closed below for still a pretty decent move, 43.44 to 43.50. For a 6-point move, but of course there was the minutes here, so easily could have taken profit earlier. But notice how once we closed under here, look what happened, right, with that increased volume, right? We've been talking about volume this week. Once you see that close below the ADMA with volume right here, do we want to be anywhere involved in this? No, because we're actually under the ADMA, right? So that's kind of working its way down in a bit. But when you get a nice breakout move, right, you can usually ride the trend a little bit using your exponential moving average, your 8 exponential moving average. And don't forget, guys, 8 is a Fibonacci number, which is why we like it so much. And try to ride that trend. So really, really good stuff, guys. Consider using that to your advantage, and hopefully you found that helpful. At this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So OTA sent a few in here via Twitter. So let's get these pulled up right here. Sorry for all the mess here on the futures chart, but let's go ahead. Let's take a look at MRNA. So MRNA it's up a little bit here after hours. It got back over the ADMA, right? And with some news that they got some booster shots and all that stuff. It looks like it kind of took out the potential. I'm going to take out the potential flat pennant right there, but kind of see if that holds as a flag if we ends up breaking back down again, or if it tries to break out with more volume, it might go for this gap above. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on there too. And of course, Netflix. So Netflix, guys, looking pretty interesting right here. I'm not a fan, but again, you can't deny the chart. Bull flag potential right here with a pretty decent candle here today, heading up into earnings for a potential earnings run. So look for a breakout here of the flag and see if it can work its way up, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's take a look. Awesome. Great stuff, Otas. Really appreciate it. Shirley sent a few in here via email. So we've got Upstart, guys. Beautiful move right here. This is from the bubble report the other day. Paul had Upstart on his bullish radar. Very, very nice move. We had a nice pause day yesterday, so basically like that doji sandwich up move today with a nice gap and go. Again, a lot of names gave us some good gap and goes today. WBA, what a wild move today, guys. It was up pre-market on good earnings, pushed down today, and then an incredible reversal move here, just squeezing out all those shorts and getting above the 200-day moving average. It left us with an upper shadow here today, but I do think it's worth watching going into tomorrow for sure. NVIDIA, definitely, I'm very bullish on this name now. I was bearish on it a while ago. Just never confirmed, never broke down. So what we've got here is a couple different things right here. We got a geometric breakout, and we're pretty close to all-time highs. after the stock split, right? So I'm really liking this one. This one looks strong. Double inside day up. We talked about this with the SPX recently, the double inside day gap down. Here we had a double inside day gap up. Very, very strong today. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing made a run at least for the next month or so, potentially to all-time highs if the market stays strong. So very, very interesting. Keep an eye on that one. Mr. Softy with a good move here today too. Again, strong move here over the cloud with increased volume. So let's see if that can keep going. And AMAT, it was an interesting one here today too. A gap up here with a hammer with a potential move to the upside to get to the 50-day moving average. So good finds on those. Surely, really appreciate it. Robbie, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got Square on the radar? Yeah, big move here today. Big gap up, but no go. Look at that. Right into resistance, prior resistance. Prior tweezer top up here, and then left with an upper shadow here. A shooting star candle with increased volume, so a little bit blah there on Square. If we could take out these highs and get going, we might see a 50-day moving average in the cloud. And Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, so Amazon, interesting, right? So it kind of gave us a doji right off the 200-day moving average. This is not, we saw a lot, like you saw a lot of gap ups and some pretty strong candles today. And Amazon just didn't play along, which is interesting, right? In fact, not a lot of sectors played along. Tech didn't play along today very much at all. There's a couple in there. Semiconductors were okay, but it was like the strongest sector today was like the home builders or something, right? So I mean, it's just like, and the pot names, right? So it's like, really, that was carrying the market today. I mean, it was just all about the S&P exuberance, but pretty wild stuff here with Amazon. I mean, kind of the recent big move, right? Was basically this pullback right here. So we got a little bit of a doji move right here, testing the prior geometric line. So let's see how it goes. You kind of have this 1, 2, maybe 3 type feel to it, but I'd like to see you get some strength back over the 200-day moving average. So definitely keep an eye on that one. And then Bitcoin, yeah. So Bitcoin, you can kind of hold on to it if you want to see if it gets if you got any runners left. But I wouldn't be afraid to take profit here. Right, we're really, really close to the 618, the 3.618 target. We pointed this out in the live stream here at like 5 a.m. on the 1st. And it's really given us an incredible harmonic move. I was only thinking it would get up to the 1.618, but once it got to the 2.618 consolidated move, we're really, really close. So once it starts to pull back, I would expect a 382 retrace, and then we'll see where we go from there. But again, you can see if there's a little bit more to it, try to eke out a little bit more profit on it. But I would, if you're late to the show right here, I'd be a little bit careful, right? So a little bit of caution there. But good stuff. Really appreciate it. And DA, thanks so much. Good to see you. Long time no see. I hope you're doing great. Thanks so much for tuning in. And 2020 says it all. SPCE. Yeah, so SPCE with the hanging man candle right here with some volume today, and then Rutro after hours. Big gap down here. I guess they they had some issues, right? What was it? Enhancements. They had some issues. I thought it was like some safety issues or something like that. Give me 1 second here. Planned vehicle enhancement modification. They got to anyway. See a planned vehicle enhancement modification period says 20 days rescheduled to follow. Anyway, they had some issues here after hours after Captain Kirk went in space with Blue Origin the other day. So watch for the gap down tomorrow. We're at $20. That's not good. That's bringing us down to here, to this area right here with an open gap below. So we need to see how the pre-market action goes going into tomorrow and see where that ends up. GMBL, again, nasty reversal candle today. Woo, sorry, we got this candle. It's a nasty reversal candle, big gap up and nasty reversal, but held the 80 MA. Let's see if that holds right there. JD, I kind of like going in tomorrow. I like the outside day. Keep it on the radar, see if it stays strong. I like the close over the 200-day moving average. Volume's really not there, but could be interesting. And Walmart, goodness gracious, what a wild down move on this one recently. And could be working on kind of like a 1-2-ish type move, and we'll see if we can go from there. But good finds on those. Really appreciate it. Nice 2020. Otas, can you teach us about crazy news spikes like the one we saw in Moderna today and how to trade those? Where you do, yeah, rubber bands on news spikes. So if you go to, I've got an old video on that here. Give me 1 second and see if I can pull that up for you. Rubber band. Oops. Let's see what we got. Where's our rubber band series here? 1 sec. We've done some amazing stuff with here we go. Here's one recently. This is from a few months ago. Check out this one. I'm gonna post this in here. And in fact, this whole series is trading the news, right? So so if you go here, let's see here. If you check out that series, day trading the news. How do I go to the series itself once I'm here? Give me 1 second, guys. How do you go to the playlist once you're there? Playlist, all playlists, create playlist. Let's see if I can find it right here real quick for you. There we go. Got it. Yep. So here's another one too, just for day trading the news. So a good series on that one. But yeah, rubber band technique for the crazy spikes, and then there's Fibonacci techniques that we can use to look for short opportunities to fade those crazy news moves, right? Because your chances are you're not going to beat it, right? Unless you've got Bloomberg or you're just part of the algo whole thing, and you can just really just jump in really really quickly. Chances are you're better off going for a fade of the news move, right? But you have to kind of know when it's going to calm down. And using your Fibonacci's can really, really help with that too. So it's good stuff. Yeah, it happens a lot. Absolutely, it's definitely an interesting way to a possibility to trade with. So definitely check those out. So good stuff. JMOS, what's going on? Oh, DA, what's going on? Yeah, so good. You got some requests here. Good. So let's see. Sorry, so YouTube is jumping around here a little bit for you. You got RMO on the radar. Let's take a look at this one. RMO with a little bit of a red day there above the ADMA, so just kind of let's see if we can get going on that one. Skills, I don't know why this thing's doing this right now. Why is it making this happen? Okay, there we go. Skills, decent possible doji sandwich right here. The big thing that we're kind of a little bit concerned about is this geometric line, right? So we're just below it right here, but we are above the ADMA. See if we can push above that, maybe a little doji sandwich up going into tomorrow. TDOC. We know Kathy keeps loading up on this name right here, but we got a nasty shooting star candle off that one here today, so a little bit of caution there. And Trit. Looking kind of interesting. A little bit too big to be a flag because the size of the flag itself is the exact size of the flagpole, right? But still look for it. See how it holds those geometric lines. See if we can get out of this cloud right here and get some volume out of this range. And then GME. So I'm actually a little bit bearish on GME going into tomorrow. Kind of an upper shadow here. I think it could pull back to the ADMA, but it's just kind of stuck here between moving averages in the cloud right now. So again, if it reverses and gets really strong tomorrow, it could be good, but it might give us a little bit of a pullback tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And would T be a bottoming candle? Pretty close, right? I mean, we didn't quite get to Morningstar reversal setup right here with the 3 candle setup, but we did have a nice reversal doji right here with some pretty decent volume on it. So it might be trying to work its way up and get back above that ADMA, and but it might wait till earnings. So just let's see how it does up to there and after it. But yeah, a very 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 interesting support zone. Yeah, especially from way back. So again, I like it. I like that reversal doji right there. Let's see how it holds. And again, generally, the name is overall decent. So we'll see how that goes. But good stuff. Really appreciate it. JMOS has got Cube on the radar. Let's take a look. So Cube, yeah, still going. You got your 3 white soldiers up there for a very nice move. MT, again, ADR on this one, right? So you got this kind of, I believe this is like a pharma name, but ADR, so a little bit cautionary there, but it has been given some gaps up, so nice stuff there as well. Mitchell, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got Carr on the radar with a nice lower shadow. Bounce off of the ADMA, so let's see if that holds here today. Boeing with some rough news today, guys. Remember this candle right here? It was beautiful. Breakout of the geometric line. Did it close for us? No, right? So what does that mean, right? Look out, right? So we rejected the geometric line right here, which is actually part of a larger channel, and an increased volume breakdown right here with a little bit of teeny bit of support right there before it gets to the scene of the breakout right here. Right, so and again, Dreamliner news kind of rough. So let's see how that goes there going into tomorrow. Roku potential pause day. Again, it was looking nice yesterday with the kind of this little flag breakout candle, kind of a pullback here and just kind of blah when everything else is strong. So be careful on this one if the market gets weak or if it shows any signs of weakness going into tomorrow. So good stuff there. Jorge, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Thanks for making it. I really appreciate it. Had a break from options. Cool. Mostly doing futures. Good. Yeah, futures are fun. They can be fun, right? For sure. Love it. Well, good to see you. And DA, so what do you think about the OYST volume price expansion? OYST. Oh yeah, big money coming in here right here. Look at that big candle right here, kind of pushing. Again, this looks like a pharma type name, so I'd be a little bit careful with it, but it does look interesting. A nasty pullback here today too, so a little bit of caution there, but still could be wild, right? So just look for it, if you like trading these crazy names, if it gets any action on that. So good stuff there. And Jorge, quick view of the NASDAQ or the ES. Yeah, so NASDAQ, again, we review all these in the bubble report every morning. Review the NASDAQ and the NQ. I'm sorry, the NQ and the S&P. Decent move today. Again, volume really wasn't there overall, but it's looking okay right here. It could be like a little bit of a harmonic type move, type thing going on, like a little butterfly in the action right here. So again, it's got a little bit of room to get back to the 50-day moving average. And intraday, right, we put our zones on here every morning, right, held the geometric line all day, got through this zone here too with a gap up just like the S&P and gave a nice move. So we'll just see if that continues to work its way up. Otherwise, watch the 50-day moving average potential resistance there for the NQ. And of course the ES, we go in-depth analysis. We do market profile every morning in the bubble report, put it in the Discord, all that good, happy, fun stuff, and we give us a game plan for the day. So in general, we are holding this this trend line right now. We did get to the 50-day moving average somewhere in here, but very, very nice harmonic that we had the other day, and this one did get over the 50-day, so we'll see how that goes. But good stuff there. And DA, you've also got Carver, so he's like hard resistance as well. Yeah. So Carver, very, very, very tight range right here, sitting under the. This is just such a low volume name, right? So I would just be very, very, very careful with this one, right? So it had some action recently, right? That just kind of ended up chopping around. So we got that going on there. So DA, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for the kind words. And always appreciate you sending people our way. We always appreciate it. Mitchell, thanks so much. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. You guys are great. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And we'll see you guys here on YouTube bright and early tomorrow morning for Friday, for the Good Morning Market Prep video. So be sure to tune in then. I look forward to seeing you guys then. Until then, stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay safe.